Hmm. Do you think these like they're calling it the democratization of the financial system? Do you think
Yeah.
these like apps like Robinhood are a net positive or a net negative?
Oh, no, unquestionably. By the way, of the democratization of the financial system has been going on for decades. It began with, well, in the modern in the
Ah,
modern era,
uh,
ATMs. That was kind of a, you, you you kids can't imagine, but back in the day, if you wanted cash, to go clubbing on the weekends, you
uh,
had to make sure you went to the bank on Friday before they closed at 3 p.m.
no good.
And then, right, and of course, you're sitting there on Friday ready to go Pauhana with the bros, and you're like, oh, snap, I didn't
Yeah,
get any cash. And there's no ATM,
yeah.
and
What
there's
do you
no bank
do?
that's going to give you a credit card, bro. And
Yeah.
oh, yeah, that was my world. And how about this one? And check this out, the drinking age was 18. Woohoo!
Oh,
So,
yeah.
right, then you would go to the manager's station at the supermarket and try to
Hmm.
cash a check. Hey, brother, you can cash me a check. I go and buy beer. Yeah,
What?
that's how you got cash on the weekends in 1973. You
Ouch.
went to the supermarket and wrote a check for cash, and maybe they would cash it for you. Maybe they would look at you and go, "Get your punk ass out of here. That's not your
Uh-huh.
check."
Wow.
So, beginning with that, and then the internet, and then now it's all, we do all of our transactions on smartphones. Subprime lending, which got a
Mhm.
huge burn in the housing bubble of the early 2000s, right?
Mhm.
How subprime lending, you got to think about this for a second. Until subprime lending, a single mom who paid her rent on time could not get a mortgage loan, right? Under, if you looked at the way credit underwriting was set up until about the 1990s, right? It's all about your ability and demonstrated willingness to pay, make your monthly mortgage payment.
Mhm.
And um, people of color, right? Low income households, people did not have access to credit the way they do today. And so subprime lending, right? What is subprime lending? If you're a prime borrower, that means you meet all the criteria. But there's a whole group of people that are just not quite there because they're not married and they have
Mhm.
kids,
Mhm.
that are a little more risky. But if you make a loan to them, are right, 95% of them will pay back their loan instead of 98%. So it's a little more risky, but
Mhm.
not so risky that you just, why? Because that 3 percentage point difference, right? If an additional 3% of those borrowers is going to fail to pay back the loan, then that loss, right? You're talking about banks that run a 1% loss experience. So if you add 3 percentage points, or whatever fraction that 3 additional percentage points is based on
Mhm.
the portfolio shares in your, in the balance sheet, that can, even a small margin like that can add materially to
Mhm.
your loss experience at the bank. The bank, banks can't afford to lose money. So, or they'd be bankrupt. So subprime lending made it possible for a lot of people that could have never gotten a home loan previously to get in there. It only metastasized and became toxic when the bubble began to emerge and people used that source of finance to pour fuel on the fire.